I know LeBron. I played with Bronny growing up, seventh, eighth grade. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Like I remember multiple times. Like he's been on the bench while we're playing. Like mid game, call me over. Hey, bro. Like, hey, you should have did that read a little different. You should have did this. Da da da.
Shooting Stars will stream on Peacock June 2nd. And either one of you can answer this question, but what can fans expect from this film?
What can you expect? Of course, the LeBron, we get a glimpse of LeBron's legacy and his story, but just it's more that basketball is more than a game. It's about community. It's about support from your friends, your family, um, and just you just get to see Mookie Cook kill it as LeBron James. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I love this dude, man.
Of course. Of course. So, well, Mookie, I want to ask you about that. Obviously, you play LeBron James. Was there something you learned about LeBron you didn't know before?
I knew that the Fab was close. Like I
Yeah.
knew of them. I knew that they were, close, but I didn't know that they were this close. Like, what I mean? I didn't know that the relationship they had was how it is now. Like literally like to be friends from childhood all the way up to adults, that's
It's rare.
yeah, that's rare. That doesn't happen a lot.
Yeah.
Especially just from my perspective that I only have one best friend, and now I'm not gonna lie, like these are my guys, like the Fab group from the acting, like I could call those my brothers.
Absolutely. And Caleb, you play little Drew, and I like him just because even though he's short, he's so confident and he backs it up on the court.
100%.
So, yeah, absolutely. So, what did you like most about playing a guy who has that type of confidence in his game?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't feel like I had any relation to even like Drew's life coming into this besides loving the game of basketball. But the competitive nature that I had to have, understanding that he had to go up against point guards that were taller than him.
Yeah.
And, he was like probably like 5'2" in high school. I
Mhm.
never, I mean, I wasn't like 5'2" in high school. I was average height. So like and I wasn't hooping basketball.
He probably was
Like
5'2".
5'2"? No, I was like 5'4", 5'5". I wasn't like small like that.
You hear
Like he
the
was like
hey,
he was
you
like
hear that
5'2" and
difference? That
like
difference.
that's different though. There's a difference. There's a difference. All right, listen.
Yeah.
But I didn't. Well, if let's say I was 5'2", I didn't have to face that level of like competitiveness in acting. No one was like, "Oh, you're too short to be an actor." There's no such thing as that. You know what I mean?
You're perfect height.
You know what I'm saying? No, exactly. So it's like it don't really matter, but knowing that he had to have like a different level of confidence if it was someone even telling him he could do it or not, he had to believe in himself. So I going into it just made I left with a different level of confidence.
I want to ask you this. You're going to play college basketball at the University of Oregon.
Yeah.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you so much.
No, I appreciate it, man.
Oh, of course. But have you spoken to LeBron and has he given you any advice on your basketball career?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I know LeBron. I played with Bronny growing up, seventh, eighth grade. So
Yeah.
yeah, of course. Like I remember multiple times. Like he's been on the bench while we're playing. Like mid game, call me over. Hey, bro. Like, hey, you should have did that read a little different. You should have did this. Da da da. But yeah. Like after the film, we all shot it. I was at the McDonald's All American game, and I seen him
Yeah.
there. And then he was just like, man, like I'm so happy for you, man. Like this is so great opportunity, man. I was like, nah, man, I appreciate you because you at the end of the day, you and the director had the final say so of who to pick, and man, you were down to pick me.
Absolutely. Well, Mookie, Caleb, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. And congratulations on Shooting Stars and continued success to both of you. Shooting Stars premieres on Peacock June 2nd. So, how does this film stand out from other basketball based movies?
Well, it stands out. Number one, it's a biopic,
Yeah.
right? And so it stands out as it is a biopic, and also it's about a very prevalent human being who's historical and his evolution. So you get to see his evolution or see him evolve into the person we know now, right? So this gives us insight into LeBron James and his course. So all of the people involved, his friends, the coach, it's great for us to engage with all of that and see this historical person before he was even talked about, right? So
Yeah.
And it's also a period piece. It takes us into the nostalgia of that era as well. So, there's no social media. Kids ain't running around with their phones and stuff like that. Yeah, they're actually, you almost have to show a period piece so kids ain't on their phones.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Absolutely. You play Coach Drew Joyce. So how would you best describe him, since he's kind of like not just a coach, but he's a mentor and a father figure to LeBron and his teammates?
Well, I mean, it's just that, not
Yeah.
every coach is a father figure. A lot of coaches are ego driven,
Yeah.
where they have a task at hand, and, they're very, I would like to say, paint by number. We do this on yellow on number 2, red on number 5. They just sort of go by in motion, right? And Coach Drew really had genuine compassion for circumstances of all the kids involved. And at the same time, he may have slacked off in his fatherliness, right? Because his son is on the team. So,
Yeah.
like I was saying, I've coached my kids before. It's difficult not to be biased, right? And then it's one thing to be biased. It's another to see some kid that's awesomely better, incredibly better than everybody else. You always want to see your kid. You want your kid to be that kid. Basically,
Yeah.
if you got a kid and he's on a team, you want him to be the best, period, on the team. And so, it shines the light on all that kind of stuff and shows you the dynamic of Coach Drew balancing all those things out, right? And still figuring out, man, I need to be there for my kid like a dad. I'm a father still, right?
Yeah.
To my growing son, I'm a father. So, finding that is important. I hope we portrayed that properly in the film.
Yeah, and you talked about how Shooting Stars is a period piece, takes you back to the 90s, early 2000s, also talks about LeBron James and, basically his teammates becoming one of the best high school teams in the country. Were those things, along with portraying a coach like Drew Joyce, drew you to this movie?
Yes, really all of the above,
Yeah.
having something to do with LeBron is always, obviously, that's a big deal, and to tell his story is a big deal. I also worked with Chris before and Caleb. We did the New Edition biopic. So it was a reunion. Right. It made all of this very comfortable, and it just made this ride a quick, fun ride to take. And yeah.
Absolutely. And did you get a chance to, talk to Drew Joyce a little bit, talk about, just his history? And if so, what are some of the things you learned from when talking to him?
I did get the chance to talk to Coach. When I talk, I've done a lot of bio things, right? So biopics and television and film. And when you get the opportunity to talk to the person who you're portraying, there's a lot going on, You want to see if you can talk like him, walk like him. Are you going to be physically like him? So when I spoke to him, the times that I did, I was really being technical in my approach to acting and just trying to see what I can pull from these moments around him that I can actually put on into my performance, my portrayal, right?
Yeah.
So it's a very technical thing that I'm doing if I'm talking to you, and I know I have to go on and later portray you. So but what I recognize from him is how right away you realize of Coach Drew that he is man, it's difficult to say. I guess he's a spirited person. He's a great spirit. Very positive energy. Type of person you couldn't really imagine like cursing out somebody or fighting. Even though he was like that for sure. But you couldn't imagine it at the stages that that we portray in the script, right? And at that time in his life, very compassionate person and passionate, and like that mentoring ability that he had was wonderful, especially sprinkling in his fatherliness to the entire group, a little bit maybe at the expense of his own son until he figured it out. So yeah.
Absolutely. Well, Wood, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it, and continued success to you. Shooting Stars will premiere on Peacock on June 2nd. So this question, either one of you can answer this question, but how would you best describe this movie?
Shooting Stars is a coming-of-age film telling about story of 5 friends that's from Akron, Ohio, that stick together and play basketball and build as men. And it's just a story about friendship and familyhood, and just how it takes a village to become an amazing man.
AJ, I want to ask you this. You play Willie McGee in the film. How would you best describe him as a character as well as a basketball player?
As a character, Willie is just he just likes to have fun and kick it with his guys. He's gonna stick up for his brothers. Just the basic foundations of a best friend. Like he plays that role with all four of his friends. When it comes to the basketball court, in this film, Willie is a flashy type of player, so he likes to do like flashy moves and stuff like that. But he gets to the rim a lot. He has like a handle on him, so he's kind of like a smart guard when he's playing basketball.
And Khalil, you play Shion.
Sure.
Which past or even present NBA player would you compare Shion to?
As far as basketball wise,
Yes, basketball wise.
probably Glenn Davis,
Nice.
Shaq vibes, baby Shaq vibes.
How much did you enjoy playing a character like him?
It was amazing. I can relate to him in many ways. We're both big guys. When most people see us, they kind of can sometimes be intimidated. But once you sit down and have a 2-3 minute conversation, that's one thing I realized in 2-3 minute conversation I first had with Shion was just that he's just this goofy guy, funny, silly guy that once you have a conversation with him, he'll make you smile. So.
Right.
Yeah, and this question is for both of you. Before landing the roles, how much did you know about not so much LeBron James and his high school career, but just his teammates and their story of playing together and becoming one of the best teams in the nation?
I had a previous background check on them. Pretty sure we both did. We watched More Than a Game documentary that had came out in like 2000. I don't want to get it wrong, but it was the 2000. Yeah. So we had some previous knowledge and background checks on the guys, but just meeting them and getting to talk to them and getting to know them, it helped even better.
Absolutely. And did you get a chance to talk to LeBron James since, obviously he's part of the story, but he's also an executive producer and he wrote the book based on this movie?
Yeah, I got to talk to LeBron for a quick second at a basketball game. We just, gave a dap and he just told us how he thought we did good. So that's a great thing to hear, especially coming from him. So hopefully we get to see him tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not as cool as AJ. I've met LeBron.
AJ, Khalil, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Congratulations on the movie and continued success to both of you.